You have
Oh,
such an array behind you, Brian. This is, I
and
almost feel like we should start on that before you even say hello or I say who you are. So that's essentially what you're doing, I suppose.
it's like they have to have the most scientific proof of UFOs ever. And I kind of joke that that contingent, they wouldn't believe or agree in that UFOs and ETs really exist 100% if a UFO landed on their head.
Oh, you got some great faces there.
We've got a bit of disclosure and dissension put together for our conference here.
But you're gonna
I,
have to read the book. You're
oh
gonna
yeah,
have to
I
read
know.
the
I've got
book.
so that giggle factor has been very much introduced, the whole conspiracy theorist term coined by the CIA.
Oh, yes, he committed suicide because he had a UFO incident. And that was it. No other conversation about the man's life.
You could speak with any of the presenters together or in or separately, just go hard at them, really grill them, and you're going to find that it's for the most part what I would say consistent.
And that's mostly what these sort of starseedy type minds have. We have this weird overview ability. But building bridges of what is going on frequency wise in the world through the media, I use overtones to change the weather or to change my frequency when I know they're pumping full of toxins into the air. In the same way, I'll teach that to a child.
This is a deal with James. He's real in that he was at the Montauk Project. He's been part of these secret space programs as a quote unquote super soldier. Preston Nichols, who gave a whitewashed testimony to Peter Moon.
I mean, it's important that we see his testimony, we hear him and we hold him because the layers going on in our reality are just so extraordinary. You just mentioned Preston Nichols, who we're going to talk about because of his role at Montauk and in the frequency movement, the music movement. We need to understand this kind of level and layers of complexity and manipulation because we're at a time we're trying to form, oh my God, what is real?
Let me give the breakdown, the run through, because a lot of people, even listening to this, are probably like, what the heck is this Montauk Project
Yes.
that Isabel and Brian keep talking about here? And it may be that the inner earth, that there may be inner earth connections that are in contact with Aldebaran and they're all in contact with each other. The Germans got the UFO technology. They went to Antarctica, built a base called New Schwabenland, and then that was where at the end of World War II, you had Operation High Jump, led by Admiral Byrd, taking a naval carrier group down there, and then they got torn to pieces.
These were the Project Paperclip scientists which were imported into the USA after the supposed World War II ending. Have you read the Radu Cinamar books?
I have not yet. They're up on my shelf. It might be they might have also there might be some misinformation or disinformation in those books to
Of
throw
course,
you
there
off of
has
the
to
real
be
truth.
sometimes, yeah, because you have to be led away from certain things that otherwise, how on earth were those books published?
Tesla, by the way, and this other scientist, they dropped out of the program because they said this is not ready to subject human test subjects to this. This is supposed to be one of the real images, Isabel. This one, there are fake images out there that they put for the movie. Like that might have been a recreation one, but this one right here, this is supposed to be real, I've been told.
We're talking about frequency, so let's just bring the set the scene because of course metal is still it still has a vibrant frequency to it because it is part of the creation. However, a human body has a much different set of frequency and it's a living, breathing, pulsing, moving at a faster rate. So you can imagine why a shift into a different dimensional plane would create this misnomer, and the body where it should be in space turns into being in a piece of metal.
The US government, they said, wow, there's something to this technology. And they moved the experiments over to Brookhaven National Laboratories. But you got all of Long Island here, 100 miles plus, that just extends eastward that way. The military code name of the project, I've been told, is the Phoenix Project.
Dossiers of information would be handed over to the media production company and they would be told, hello, you are to follow this information and incorporate it.
Yep. And that's part of Operation Mockingbird, with the CIA intelligence community getting to use the mainstream media as its basically propaganda apparatus because they have two totally different goals in mind. Radu probably wants spiritual ascension, whereas the military want to figure out how to weaponize it. And so the chair was literally a child-sized chair.
Work with children, and I have worked with some of those children who've been through some of those programs. So shipped off to Switzerland.
Oh, gee, you know, there's no way there could be these secret space programs. It would cost so much money. Well, not if you enslave people, and they would beam sound and frequency and music at people and energetically hit them or shock them as part of that. So it's absolutely all about that. All it is, you know, these higher technologies or spiritual technologies, they're harnessing that. Whereas the military is trying to weaponize it and hit us with these more harmful frequencies, all these the higher beings are using that to heal. And then that's where you get they don't want to, what she's saying is they don't want to deal with like 50,000 governments on Earth. They want to deal with one united planetary government that they can interact with. And that's how they do it in the ET sphere. You know, it doesn't have to be a new world order, or like we're all under like, you know, IBM or whatever. It could be much more pluralistic while having a unified governance structure to deal with, say, ETs.
One thing you can easily do with your consciousness is you can go in and pick a moment in time in your past, and then you'll be there with your consciousness literally in the point of witness, and you can command in a lot more beautiful energy.
Yeah. And then you can do that in the future too, to send strengthening, fortifying thoughts and energy to wherever you feel you might want it or need it. Free energy or time travel, because they're very interrelated, or anti-gravity. All three are interrelated. A lot of people say, hey, doesn't it create a paradox? What happens if you go back in time and kill your grandfather? That's impossible. Well, what it seems happens is it is possible. What happens is you create a split timeline. If you go to the Bible now, it says the wolf shall lay down with the lamb. Some of us bison, you know, you sniff at the smoke on the wind. I knew, something in me knew deep down back then, that if I lost this ideological fight, you know, with my spiritual fight with my family at that time, there would be horrible, grave consequences later down the road. And so it really comes down to free will discernment and deciding for yourself if you want to take the red pill or the blue pill.
So we are able to defend ourselves a little more against it because we know what feels good.
For starseed, so we've got more tools to handle, you know, this world, and then the other side targets us more, right?
Yes. Smash. We're spreading the information to those who didn't have that frequency resilience. Well, you don't want me to list that piece of music? They're demonic. What?
Is we're putting out as broad a call to the masses as possible, as reputable and you know, cogent and reliable testimonies as we can give. And I think a lot of people despair because they don't see a way to jump from here to here. And I'm trying to say, hey, you know, if we work together, apply some discipline, pool our resources, instead of jumping from here to here, we can climb up. So you incarnate some of your own people as humans on Earth, and then you work from the inside.
What is a planet? Planetary consciousness.
And now we've got a building movement that's self-sustaining because we're supporting each other at the third density level, and then up at the fourth and fifth density, and we're moving the meter.
Her mind is so cosmic, isn't it? This is the thing. And that's why it's hard for her to slow down, because it's like,
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We're definitely rocking the boat.
I like it when they get down to the nitty gritty of, you know, coming down sometimes and visiting and buying a chocolate. And
a lot of people refer to these angels not aware theory.
Oh, they're homeless. I've met a lot of those guys who are, you know, the homeless guy in the bus. And don't you think you should get out here in the love parade in the bus? Like, yes, okay.
Where they can hang out as long as they pass as a local, but once their cover is blown, they got to go.
We should call that rules of engagement. That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yes, they have rules of engagement.
Thank you so much. Really been fun talking to you. I really